In the early afternoon of July the 17th, 2014, a Boeing 777-200 of Malaysia Air enters Ukrainian airspace at an altitude of 33,000 feet, following airway Lima 980, to avoid some thunderstorms when returning to the airway in the eastern part of Ukrainian airspace. In this region, groups is in progress. Therefore, lower levels of the airspace are restricted for civil air traffic. Flight MH17, until that moment, the flight proceeds normally. When flight MH17 is above, a Buck surface-to-air missile system fires a missile. It travels almost at 3 times the speed of a warhead. Inside it is an explosive core surrounded by 2 mantles containing preformed iron fragments. The missile can reach an altitude of 80,000 feet, exceeding the flight altitude of flight MH17 by far. Past 1, this warhead explodes to the left and above the cockpit of MH17. At the aeroplane. This impact, combined with the blast of the explosion, causes the cockpit and the business class section to separate. Survived the crash. The investigation demonstrated 33,000 feet, which is to say 10.1 kilometers. No abnormalities regarding the aeroplane, and no malfunctions of any system or oral warnings were recorded. Also, no distress message. Both flight recorders stopped abruptly at 13:20:03, and from that time, the flight control messages. Flight MH17 disappeared from the radar. The aeroplane was perforated by hundreds of holes in the cockpit. Some of them had a bow tie or cubic shape. The left side of the traces of explosives were found in the wreckage and on the missile fragments found. The wreckage matches paint on the recovered missile parts. Cockpit and by simulations, and was confirmed by the recorded sound peak. The impact, the wreckage of the aeroplane was distributed over 6 different sites, consistent with the way the aeroplane broke. Based on these findings, the Dutch Safety Board concludes that flight MH17 was downed by a 9N air missile system. Other scenarios were investigated and excluded. No other scenario.
The findings are conclusive and support each other based on multiple sources. To that end, we have been able to draw a well-supported trajectory commenced somewhere in a 320 square kilometer area in the eastern part of Ukraine. Was caused by the detonation of a warhead, but has reservations regarding the missile and warhead type. Report overwhelmingly supports the conclusions as presented. Brother, it's caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the crossfire.